السلام والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد سيدنا الأولين والآخرين مدد يا رسول مدد يا سادة أصحاب الرسول مدد يا مشايخنا دستور مولانا إن شاء الله فرزا سيدنا محمد طريقتنا الصحبة والخير في الجميع. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين صدق الله العظيم. Allah Azze ve Celle iman edenler diyor.
Allah Almighty says to those who believe,
Bir kimse fasık dediği hani sözüne güvenilmeyen insan bir haber size getirdi mi onu iyice araştırın.
if a fasik, a person whose word is not trusted brings you news, investigate it thoroughly.
Bu dediği doğru mudur, yanlış mıdır, nedir, ne?
Investigate whether what he says is true or false. Investigate what it is or what it is all about.
Neyin nesidir diye iyice araştırın ki sonra o insanlara karşı sizin tavrınız kötü olup da verilen haber yanlış olup pişman olmayan diye diyor.
Investigate thoroughly so that later your attitude towards those people does not become bad and the news given turns out to be wrong, lest you regret it.
Her şeye hemen hüküm vermeyin. Gördüğünüzden de hüküm verilmez.
Do not pass judgment on everything immediately. You cannot pass judgment based solely on what you see.
Duyduğunuzdan da hüküm verilmez.
Nor should you pass judgment based solely on what you hear.
Muhakkak araştırın.
Definitely you need to investigate first.
Gördüğünüzü yanlış anlamış olursunuz.
You might have misunderstood what you saw.
Duyduğunuzu da yalan olmuş olabilir.
Or what you heard might have been a lie.
Onun için ona dikkat etmek lazım ki hakikaten de insan bazı insanlara tavır koyuyor, onlarla bir.
Therefore, one must pay attention to this and investigate thoroughly when he hears news about someone or something, because sometimes people they take a stance against other people based on news which are not facts.
Duyduğundan dolayı gidip münakaşa eder, kavga ediyor.
And then because of something they heard, they go and argue or fight with other people.
Sonra bakıyor ki ya bu haber yanlış, söyleyen yalancı.
Later, they find out that the news was wrong and the person who told this was a liar.
O vakit ortada kalıyor şey gibi. Pişman hem suçlu.
And then, having acted based on those wrong news, in the end he becomes both in a state where he's regretful and guilty.
Oluyor. Halbuki bu adam zaten güvenilmez.
Therefore, you should investigate when you hear news, especially when those news come from a person who is not reliable.
Sözüne itimat olmaz.
You should pay attention if you hear news from a person whose words cannot be trusted.
Onun sözüyle başkasına hüküm vermeyin.
Therefore, do not pass judgment on someone else based on the words of a person you cannot trust.
Ona karşı tavır almayın diyor.
And do not take a stance against a person based on someone's sayings.
İyice araştırın.
First, investigate thoroughly.
Ondan sonra hakikati adama tavır alacaksa alırsın, olmazsa gerekmezse.
And if what is being said is the truth, yes, then you may take a stance against that person you've heard that news about. If not, and if it is not necessary, then you act accordingly.
Ona göre hareket edersin. Bu insanlar için kendilerini müşkül durumda durmasın diye.
This is a warning and a reminder to people so that they are careful about not putting themselves into difficult situations.
Sonra özür dileyecek duruma gelmesin diye baştan sen hem suizan yapmamış olursun hem kendini utandığın bir duruma girmez yani.
So if you hear news about someone or something, do not act or judge immediately, but first investigate thoroughly so that you do not end up in a position where you need to apologize later, and from the very start you avoid a situation of suspicion, and you will not enter a situation where you feel ashamed because of the things you say or of the things you do wrongfully.
Karşı adama karşılar kim varsa adam kadın ne varsa onlara karşı mahcup olmazsın.
Therefore, first investigate thoroughly if you hear news about a person, whether a man or a woman or a situation, and do not act or judge too early. Otherwise, you may end up in a situation where you will be embarrassed in front of that person. Therefore, do not act just based on what you just heard by someone.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin mübarek sözleri insanlar, Müslüman için güzel, her güzelliği anlatıyor.
Allah Almighty describes and elaborates on all beautiful things and all beautiful ways of behavior through His blessed sacred words for Muslims.
Sen kendine müşkül duruma düşürmeyesin diye de bu ayet-i kerimeleri söylemiş.
And Allah Almighty has revealed and ordered these noble verses so that you listen to them and obey to them, so that you do not put yourself into a difficult situation.
Buyurmuş Allah Azze ve Celle. Allah hakikati göstersin bize.
May Allah Almighty show us the truth.
Çünkü çok yüzü güzel olan, içi kötü olan çok insan var bu zamanda.
Because in this time there are many people whose faces are beautiful, but whose insides are bad.
Ne hikmetse insanlara kötülük yapmak isteyen var.
For some reason, there are those who want to do evil to people.
Doğru var da
there are truthful people too.
Onu da iyi yapan insana da onlar gibi muamele olmasın inşallah.
And therefore it is very important to be very careful so that good people do not end up treated badly like the way those people who want to do badness and want to do evil.
O vaziyete düşürmesin bizi.
May Allah Almighty protect us from falling into that situation.
Allah muhafaza etsin inşallah.
May Allah Almighty protect us inshallah.
Amin. Allah tevfik. El Fatiha.